Hello, hello, hello. My name is Jenna. This is 11:11 with Jenna. I'm here 7 days, 7 nights, 14 times a week, right here on Facebook and YouTube. And that's it right now. I got to get the streaming thing together. That's next. That's next. Or something. I don't know. But tonight is Sunday, December 4th, 2022. Sunday, December 4th. 2022, how are you? 2022, oh, how are you? What's happening here? Tonight I say it's time for storytelling and it's time to go public, that's it, that's it. Tomorrow morning, movement, we move. Tomorrow night, joke night. Pick out a subject, put it into Google, like pens. Let's see, just because what did we do the other night? Books, jokes about pens, jokes about pens. 30 pen puns. Oh, the 96 plus. What's the difference between a pen and life? Pen has a point. Ooh. Oh. I have a pen that can write underwater. It can write other words too. What is Forrest Gump's favorite pasta? Penne. I like that. Penne. What up, Penne? See, there's a joke about everything, everything. And I'm here to make sure that it gets said. So let's see what's going on. Michael, William, Michael, William, Rob. See, core group's got it going on. Tell your friends about the show. These are dirty and they won't clean. Share the show, love the show. What is it? You know, you go like this, like, love, care. Oh, I laugh so hard. What? Easy. Hello, Rich. I was afraid that was going to happen. Were you not wearing a mask in Vegas? Probably not, because you had to be cool like the kids. Hey, John. So sorry. I hope you feel better fast. But equally as important, how's Cashew? Did he fare okay after? I know you said he was crying when you left, and I hated hearing that. Well, I read it, but better. Hi. What? Okay, so yes, there are jokes about pens. Very few people were masking, but a lot of people probably got sick. But every time I've ever gone to Vegas, I've gotten sick. So that's why pretty much I don't go to Vegas. And right now, numbers are up. And it's no joke, kids. Numbers are up. New York City, Los Angeles may start the mask mandate again. I literally just took a mask off. I had a mask. I had some people. Yay! Cashew! I love you. Just be careful out there. Wear a mask. And on the plane. Well, you've seen me on a plane. Double mask, shield, glasses, headphones. Later, I'll be over here. Do what you gotta do. But one friend of mine has been sick in LA for 3 weeks. She's a healer. She's been sick for 3 weeks. And people say it's not, oh, it's just a flu. Well, as a long hauler, it's not just a flu. So I speak my piece. I'm really sorry that you're sick. And I hope that you get better and don't have any lingering symptoms. Judgmental? With what? I'm not getting judgmental. I'm a survivor of COVID and I'm a long hauler. I don't think I'm being judgmental. I'm just saying just to be careful out there, and was wishing you to be better quickly. Healing, healing, healing vibes. No judgment here. Just Lisa's watching. Just Lisa's watching. Hey, pretty girl, how are you? Doing okay? Not an easy time, I know. And I'm sorry. Cuzzo, what up? Julie, 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 do you love me? Yeah. Anyway, tonight's story night, sensitive. Oh no. No, 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 no. Yeah, be safe. I'm not sure why I was accused of being judgmental, though. I was just speaking out of experience for myself and feel better. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Yikes. I'm pretty sensitive too. Probably a short show tonight. I think John was going to come on and tell a story, and Paula Hubbard, how are you? Paula Hubbard's watching the show. If you feel like jumping on and telling a story, tonight is story time. Brush with Fame. And I'm just trying to keep it together. Good, Paula. Trying to light my candle, but I think I need a new candle. I need a new candle. That's what I need. John, I think he's coming on. John, the drummer from last night from the Sand Rabbits. Cool band. Cool, cool, cool band. I think he's going to be here, but maybe not. Grace Mammina is watching the show. Mama Grace with the beautiful face. Mama Grace. Just what's left of my... Hey, Pat Moriarity. How are you? Stephen C. Smith. I'm thinking lemon curd. I'm dreaming lemon curd. One of these days. January-ish. Middle of January, February. You know, we could meet part way. We could meet on the 20th. Hey, Mary. We could meet. If anybody feels like jumping on the show and telling your story tonight, that would be cool. And if anybody feels like supporting the show, that would be really cool too. Love it, like it, care for it. And I will just post this out here too, because it's all about the love and all about sharing the show. And I will post this right here, right now. Right here, right now. Steve Smith. Awesome. Yet another incredible drummer on the show. So many drummers on this show. More drummers than any other instrument. Oh, I was on Ben Fong Taurus's radio show today. What? Yes. And like I said, it's easy to support the show with a generous gift. Venmo at Jenna-Mammina, paypal.me/Jenna Sings, patreon.com/Jenna Mammina, and I have Zelle. I do. And it was suggested today that I say this every day and every night. So I'm going to. That was my commercial. I have CDs, I have cards, I have collage. I'm doing a collage right now of birds. Birds are really hard. Birds and horses are difficult because they have so many edges and feathers. And so the feathers, I got a little tired last night and I felt bad. I was like, sorry, bird, I got to cut off some of those feathers. But I was trying to think of a brush with fame that I've had, and I don't know. Can't really. Ooh, Saved by the Pat, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick Moriarity in the house. Hey there. Hi. What's up? Oh, unmute thyself. Lower
There.
left. Hey.
Yeah, I had to turn my Facebook off so I wouldn't go down that echo.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah. How are you tonight?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
In there. I'm hanging in there too. Trying to get some art done.
What are you
But
working on?
I'm kind of lazy. I'm still working on that Pants Are on Fire logo. I think I showed you that last time.
That was cool. Well, we haven't seen it lately.
Oh, it hasn't gotten too far. It's barely inked. It's like I've got some of the lettering done, but I really got to go to town on it. I've just been distracted and goofing around. We had a snowstorm here, and I live on a steep street, and so then we got snowed in for a little while, and so I had to go and shovel the entire street, dead end street, down to my driveway just to get out. So that sort of kept me from doing art there for a while.
Was it that I knew in Seattle it was kind of crazy, and all on the West Coast and Arizona even crazy storm. How much snow did you get?
Oh, just a few inches, but it's so steep around here that a little bit of snow goofs everybody up if all the streets are like going like this.
They forget how to drive. I don't know what to do in this. And
Well, in the
crazy.
Midwest, you can have chains and you can just drive straight and but when the roads are really steep, uh, even a little bit of snow is a big problem.
And no snow plows.
No, I don't think so.
So.
I don't think so.
Or
I think
sand.
it's kind of left to their own devices. There's probably snow plows in the city and stuff, but probably not around here. But anyway, you were talking about brushes with fame, and I was trying to think of like what could I talk about? And one thing that keeps popping into my head is that I had like a whole bunch of rapid fire brushes with fame back in the 80s when I was a museum guard at the Walker Art Center. And one of them was Dennis Hopper. And they were doing a film retrospective of his stuff. And so they were showing Rebel Without a Cause and Blue Velvet and all those movies. And he was there. And my job that day was to guard the entrance to the restaurant above where they were having a private party. And I wasn't allowed. I had to stand by the door out there with my walkie-talkie, and I was bored out of my mind. And
No texting, no surfing the web at that time, huh?
oh no, not at that time. I think I had a sketchbook in my pocket. You could even get in trouble for pulling out a sketchbook and drawing something and then shoving it back in your pocket and hope that like the head guard doesn't see you doing that. So it was really a test of just seeing how much boredom tolerance you had. But Dennis Hopper was like in this room with all these stuffy rich people, and he sort of like wasn't enjoying it, I don't think. And so he decided to talk to the museum guards. And so he was standing by the door and he was talking to me for a while. And I was like, oh man, we talked about different things, but I was like, I was trying to get his autograph. And he goes, well, sure, what, you got something for me to sign? So I kind of started frisking myself, and I pulled out my wallet and I was flipping through to try to find a blank piece of paper. And I had an instant cash receipt for $25. And I gave him that, and he looked at it and he looked at the other side and he goes, $25? What do you want me to write on this? And so I was just trying to be funny. I said, how about Pat, thanks for the drug money, Dennis Hopper, because it was a cash receipt. And he just, without even blinking, he goes, okay. And he wrote it. He wrote, Pat, thanks for the drug money, Dennis Hopper. And then gave it back to me, and I had it, and I put it back into my wallet. and I still have it. I have it
Do you?
framed. Yeah, I
Where
have it.
is it?
It's in the house. I can run in and get it, but
Oh, go get it.
it did. You
Oh,
know,
go get it. You had to tell the story,
okay, I'll go get it. I'll be right back.
right?
Oh, wait a minute, it's right here. Because I was thinking about telling it. Now this is hard to see because it's so faded. But if you look at it close, it says, "See how faded it is." But if you look at it really close,
Can
it
you
says,
bring it closer to the camera?
let me get this light out of the way so it doesn't. It says, "Pat, thanks for the drug money, Dennis Hopper."
Very
It's
cool.
been sitting on a shelf and the sun bleached it out.
And was it that piece of paper, or did you have
Yeah,
you?
that's the instant cash receipt. It's inside a frame.
That's so cool.
And then I met Roy
Hold on, hold on, hold
Lichtenstein.
on.
I met Roy Lichtenstein before he passed away, and he's the pop artist. And I met Klaus Oldenburg. He designed different sculptures and stuff for the Walker Art Center. They have this giant sculpture of a spoon with a cherry in it,
Yeah.
and they were having some sort of celebration at the Walker Art Center, and Klaus Oldenburg was there, and my job was to. They had a whole bunch of helium balloons that were red to look like the cherry on the spoon, and then I was standing there by the door, and I gave everybody a balloon, and I gave one to Klaus Oldenburg, and he started walking through the door with it, and the door closed, and the balloon was on one side, and he was on the other side, and it kind of yanked his arm. And I kind of got in trouble for that. It wasn't my fault, but I kind of got in trouble for that because I kind of got the evil eye stare because of that incident. But
How long did you work there?
I worked there for about 4 or 5 years while I was living in Minneapolis. Um, but yeah, so that was. I also met Frank Gehry, the architect,
Wow.
and he designed the this big glass fish that they had there and everything. And he was doing a talk one time, and they were all in this theater. I was standing outside guarding the door, so I didn't get to see it. But eventually, his mother was in a wheelchair, and she was sitting in this special place. And she eventually they wheeled her out because the slides were making her eyes water, and it was like blinking, and so she just couldn't. So she came outside, and she was out there sitting there in her wheelchair while I was guarding the door. So I got to talk to her for like an hour, and she was like, "Oh, when Frank was a little boy, he was so creative, and he liked to draw too." So I got to hear all this inside stuff from Frank Gehry's mom. I found out more about him from his mother
Like you
than
guys
from.
should have been out here listening to his mom talk.
Yeah, I got my own little show that way. But yeah, anyway, so I've had like a bunch of brushes with fame from
What
you know.
about in Washington?
Oh, I met Kurt Cobain one time. Well, I had a really awkward encounter with Kurt Cobain. It wasn't really a meeting, but when I was art director at Fantagraphics Books in the 90s, uh, Nirvana was playing at Key Arena with the Butthole Surfers and Chokebore. And Fantagraphics had supplied comic books to all of the green rooms, all for the bands. There were 3 different rooms, one for each band. And so as a result, some of us employees got backstage passes. And so I got to, be on the inside area, VIP area for this Nirvana show. And I was hanging around with this other cartoonist, Peter Bagg, who had done this send up of the grunge scene in his comic book called Hate. And so he kind of vaguely expressed interest in wanting to meet Kurt Cobain because he was on the verge of possibly having a movie made from his comic book, and it would be so cool to have Nirvana on the soundtrack, So we were walking down this hallway, kind of looking for the green rooms to see if we could like weasel our way in there and introduce ourselves to those guys. And so there was this really, really long hallway, and there were 3 doors. And the first door was Choke Bore, and the second door was the Butthole Surfers, and then way at the end was Nirvana. And so we were headed that way, and I remember it really vividly. It was this super long hallway because Key Arena is this giant athletic stadium, and we started heading down there, and then all of a sudden, way at the end of the hallway, Kurt and Courtney Love popped out, and they were walking straight toward us. And then Pete was like, there he is, there's, and I was like, he's like, oh God, I'm kind of nervous. I don't know if I should really, and I'm like, I'll introduce you. I don't know why I said that, but I did. So I'll make this happen. And so like, they're coming this way and we're coming this way, and we're getting closer and closer and closer. And as we were getting closer, we realized that Kurt and Courtney were in a big argument. It was just really just going at each other and everything. And I was kind of intimidated. And we got just about like nose to nose with them. And I looked at Kurt, and he looked at me with one of those like, don't talk to me kind of faces. And I just went, howdy. That's all I could muster. I just went, howdy. And they didn't even answer. They just kept walking at the same pace, and we kept walking at the same pace. And then, so it was just like, howdy. And we just kept going. And then we got like a ways back, and we looked at each other like, this was not the right moment to talk to Kurt about anything. And there were some bleachers on the side of the stage, so all of us VIPs got to sit on these bleachers and watch the show from the side of the stage instead of in the audience. And I remember, we never did get a chance to introduce ourselves to him. And he kept looking back at the bleachers at me and Pete, and he was just kind of giving us like the stink eye, like, who are those guys and why are they allowed up here? Well, it was almost like, they
probably kind of, he probably thought you were some kind of weird stalker or something,
or paparazzi assholes or something.
Paparazzi.
So, I always look back at that, and I just go, what could I have said instead of howdy? Like, what could I have said? Like,
I've done that.
Like our comic books or something to like make him know that we were cartoonists, But
I've done that.
Yeah. But
that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really it was an awkward encounter, and it was kind
of, that'd be a good topic for a show, right? I can't stop it. Sometimes the audience.
The audience is really up in arms over that story.
Awkward encounters. Awkward. Hey, my friend John's on. Hold on. Don't. Just, you're here. I'll introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen. Joking, Jon Kinsting. Kinsting. Remember that? Joker's wild. Joker. John meet Pat, Pat meet John. It's all good. I think that's a really good idea to do an awkward moments. Because I have one of those.
Well, that was my awkward story. You already got mine, so I'm off the hook.
That's your only awkward story in the world? It's
the one that sticks out in my mind. If anyone says, what's the most awkward encounter you've had with anybody, it was that one. It was awkward with Klaus Oldenburg too, because I snagged him in the door with that balloon. And so that was kind of awkward.
Yeah, you could have really.
Oh, I've got one more awkward one. Okay. I had an awkward one with Warren Zevon. And Warren Zevon was playing in Minneapolis at First Avenue. And this was in the 80s. And I was much younger and more of a show going punk type dude. And I had friends that worked at First Avenue, this club. That's where they filmed Purple Rain. And it's the big, one of the biggest clubs in the city. And Warren Zevon was playing there one time. And a friend of mine from Iowa is a bigger fan of Warren Zevon than me even. And so he came up and I got in, I had a bunch of friends that worked at First Avenue, and I was like, we got to get into this Warren Zevon show. And my friend Bob Cardoza was like, well, hey, I could get you in early. You could watch them do their sound check. And I was like, are you kidding? And so we got to go in, and it was really awkward because before we went in, kind of got lectured a little bit. And he said, you can come in and you can watch their sound check, but don't interfere at all. Don't mess up their sound check. As a matter of fact, just kind of stay in the back and just be quiet. And then you can watch their sound check. So we were extra paranoid, and we went in, and First Avenue's this big club, and it used to be a bus station. But so we stayed way in the back in the shadows, back by the pool tables and stuff. But there was like nobody else in there except the employees that were like, doing their, stocking the coolers and doing whatever they do. So they were doing their sound check. And I think we made ourselves even extra conspicuous because we were being so undercover about it, because they were trying to practice and they knew we were in there. So Warren Zevon kept like getting on the edge of the stage and like, who are those? Why are they hiding? Who are those guys? And we were just like mousy and didn't want to cause any trouble and staying in the back and everything. And so like we almost made more trouble for their sound check by being so secretive and mousy about it, like we were secret agents or
Creepy.
yeah. But and then later on, after the show, he was out there by his bus and came out, and he saw us again and was like, so that was awkward.
We're the creepy guys.
We didn't mean to be, but it was a great show.
Well, that's cool that you have two awkward stories and you didn't even think about it. But that's a good idea, topic. Next week, awkward moments in life. How's that? Don't you think? But John's got a brush with fame. Pat, can you hang out and hang out with me while we listen to John share his stories?
But of course.
John, you were awesome last night.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was cool.
We all good here?
All good. All here. We can hear you. Hey,
All right.
I need some of those. Do you have classes like that, Pat?
Yeah.
Peace glasses.
No, I don't have any peace glasses.
So my story has to do with Lily Tomlin.
Oh, cool.
I'm a fan of hers.
Yeah. And this one is pretty strange because this happened about 12 years ago. I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area, and Lily Tomlin was doing a show at, you're going to have to help me, I think it was the Fox Theater in Redwood City.
Sure. I've played there.
Really? Yeah. Nice theater. And so sort of in parallel, I should mention that I have a friend named Diane Steinberg who grew up in Detroit, and we talk occasionally. And before this concert, I called her and I told her, hey, I'm excited. I'm going to be seeing Lily Tomlin. And she said, oh my God, I know Lily. And what you do, you got to send a note backstage and, say, oh yeah, we have a mutual friend. And, maybe I could get backstage and all this stuff. And so, I didn't doubt it or whatever. And so I typed up this note, and I don't know why, but I included my name and address, email, whatever. But I was hoping to get backstage. Okay. Great show. I'm hanging around after the show like a schlump. And no response. I don't get backstage. And, I was thrilled with the show, but I didn't get to meet her and a little bummed, And I thought, hey, Diane, you really have clout here. So anyway, fast forward to about a week later. So taking a shower in the morning, getting out of the shower, and my spouse at the time said, "Oh, there's a phone call," and I'm thinking, "Oh, who is it?" And my spouse said, "Well, she said it's Lily Tomlin." Yeah, right. Phone solicitors will try anything, right? And so I get on the phone, and oh my God, it's actually Lily Tomlin. And
Great impressionist.
the first thing she says is that, "Oh my God, John, I am so sorry. You must think I'm a terrible person."
Oh,
And I say, "Really? Well, what do you mean?" And she said, "Well, I got your note in front of me. I'm at my desk, in my business office, and I just opened it. And I'm so sorry, they didn't give me the note, and you must think I'm a terrible person." And I said, "Oh no, Lily, everything's cool, great show. I can understand it and all that stuff." And so we got to talking, and we were talking about like a half an hour on the phone. And Lily's calling me. Lily's calling me. Okay. And we talk about different things. And she mentioned that she talked about my name. And she said, "Oh, yeah, I just did a movie where my screen name, the last name was something very close to Kinsting. So it's kind of like we're siblings,
you said that?
Yeah. And we talked about Diane, my friend Diane. She says, "Oh, yeah, I know Diane." And Diane and Lily and Allie Willis, who recently passed, were friends together in Detroit.
Mhm.
And we talked about that a little bit. And I mentioned that I had done a favor for Allie Willis, and she was supposed to give me a signed autograph picture, but it never, she never did it. And so Lily said, "Well, that's terrible. What's your address?" And so I gave her my address, and the spelling of my name and all that stuff. And she said, "I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it." So long story short, in a few days, I get this package from Lily with 2 different signed autographs, and a copy of the movie that she was mentioning, you know. But it was just so cool.
That's really cool.
And one thing that was neat is, I tend to gush a lot in front of, celebrities, right?
Yeah, it's hard not to if you really admire them.
Absolutely. And so at one point I said, "Oh, Lily, I just love you." And then she said, "John, I love you too."
Yeah.
Like, oh man, Lily just told me she That's my Lily Tomlin story.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, yours had a happy ending.
That she's the nicest, sweetest person ever, ever.
She hangs out around here.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I've seen her here in St. Joe, and I've seen her in Saugatuck.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You never know. She might show up at one of your gigs.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But that's my Lily story.
I love that story.
I'm sticking to it. And next week, I know that I had some computer problems. That's why I couldn't get on right away. Next week, my story will involve Carlos Santana.
Cool.
I wait on bated breath.
So next week, Carlos Santana. I'll tell my Carlos Santana story too.
Okay, very good.
That'd be fun. Thank you. Thank you. So when are you playing again?
Next Saturday.
Saturday night, 6 to 8.
Yeah.
The cafe downtown St. Joe. That place was packed.
Oh man, and it was so wonderful to see you. And I have this perfect position in the in the club in the store where I can look outdoors, I can look next to the front door, and my thing is dogs and kids. I'm looking at dogs and kids all night, and it's just wonderful. Kids will come in and stand next to Fred with the upright bass and just look at just stare at him right next to him. And so it was just a wonderful venue, and yeah, appreciated your attendance, everything.
I mentioned this to Fred. There was a song in the second set.
Ah,
They were all songs I knew except for one, and I know that was one of his originals, and I loved it.
oh,
Do you have a set list from that night? Do you have do you or did you do you guys just call tunes?
yeah, we just call the tunes. But there were two tunes that it could have been. One is called Still Again, and the other is Since I Left My Baby.
It was Still Again.
Still Again. Oh, yeah.
Wow, I want to sing that song with you. I loved that. I just sitting there going, "What is this song?" It's a really, really good song.
Exactly. When I first heard it, it was at the Red Brick Cafe like maybe 4 years ago.
Great song.
First time I heard Larry, and for some reason, I couldn't remember the name of the song. He told me, but then for weeks afterwards, I said, Larry, do you know the song that goes, you know?
How does it go?
"Oh,
Pat,
I
can
think I
you do
know
that
that
too?
one.
It's
Yeah,
a drummer portraying the song.
it's a really good song.
Yeah, it was a wonderful song. And he's just this marvelous songwriter. And what Fred referred to when he, posted that message to you, Larry is like the most insecure guy. And
So
he
talented.
just, oh yeah. And so Fred and I have to lean on him all the time. Larry, you're great.
Well, ask Larry if I can sing that song with him, and I'd love to have a copy of it so I could learn it because my friends were, I was sitting there with one of my friends from kindergarten and then my friend Stacy, and they're talking, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm hiding behind the bear kind. I was sitting behind the bear the whole time.
That's why I didn't see it.
Yeah. There's a giant, how tall is that bear?
It's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, it's this huge, maybe, yeah, 8, 9, 10 feet. That's this huge bear.
You high five there.
And all these kids come up, and
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, if I saw a bear like that, I wouldn't walk right up to it. Be like,
So
later.
we will get you a copy of Still Again.
Oh, I loved it. It's such a beautiful song. Well, come back anytime. Come back and tell jokes. Come back and
Thank you. Thank you so much. So next week, Carlos Santana.
Carlos Santana. All right. Jon
Bye.
So long.
Kinsting. Kinsting?
Yes.
Kinsting. Off the top of my head. I will never forget it now. Jon Kinsting. And check out some of Pat Moriarity's artwork. He's got deep, deep artwork.
Oh, you have my book just like there all ready to go, don't you?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
keep it right here. I like looking at it.
I have a new book that just came out. It's called Loop de Loop. And this is a combination of all these strips I did for Seattle's music paper, The Rocket, back in the 1990s. I used to do a one-panel gag strip, and so they're all just one a panel with a caption. And so this just came out, and I've been selling them on my Etsy page. Go to Moriarity Media on Etsy, and I have stuff there. No one can spell my name right, so no one will be able to find it.
Moriarity.
Yep, that second I always confuses people because of Sherlock Holmes' evil arch enemy, who spells his name differently than mine. Even spell check will correct me on the spelling of my own name. Like I can't even spell my own name, and so it's been a source of frustration that the default spelling is the misspelling in my case.
Pat, I tell you what, in 2 weeks, I'll share my Gary Larson story. How about that?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've always been a Gary Larson fan.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
I gotta,
he's like one of the cartoonists who like made a ton of money when he was still young and was able to retire early
yeah,
and then just kick back for like the whole second half of his life, you know.
yeah. Great.
Him and, him and Bill Watterson, the guy that did Calvin and Hobbes. Those two guys, they're like the last, multi-millionaires to make it in comics, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hardly anybody reads the newspaper anymore. So newspaper strips aren't really very lucrative. And comic books are starting to shrink. It's like print runs on comic books are smaller all the time.
Oh, that's
I met the Spider-Man artist.
Steve Ditko, he's the one that there's a bunch of Spider-Man artists, but Ditko is the one that's considered.
I sat next to him on the plane once. I guess that's a brush with fame. There's my brush with fame.
Oh, you're probably talking about Stan Lee. Stan Lee is the guy that it makes cameos in all the Marvel movies and
No.
or the writer.
No, you know who else I met recently though? I met the guy that does the those shark movies during Shark Week.
Peter Benchley, he wrote Jaws.
No, not Jaws. No, there's this other kind of shark, like kind of jokey shark movies.
Oh, like Sharknado and all those.
Sharknado. I met that guy.
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
I met the director. He's really fun. We met on the street. Hey, don't rain on my
Sharknado? Well, I don't know. I do like bad movies, so I should probably keep my mouth.
Sharknado. Yeah, he was really cool.
Yeah.
We ended up having tea together. Now I remember. I can't remember his name though.
Aha.
That guy. One of those guys. They just like flow through. When I say my name on for when I do a voice text, like hi, this is Jenna, it says Jenna, Zhena.
Oh, Jenna.
exotic.
I'm so exotic. Hello, my name is Jenna, Zhenna. All right, kids, I'm out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Us two now, and you're going to be gone, and it's just wait, but it's your show.
Oh, I've had to do that before. But what year was that? Was that the first New Year's? Might have been the first year, New Year's around 4 o'clock in the morning. I finally said, you guys, I'm going to bed. And I could have kept it going, but I was sleeping in the same room that everything, that my lap and Lily needed to go out for a walk.
So you're the one with all the power because you're the host.
I do. I have all the power. I am the power. But I'm so glad you guys connected. This is cool.
Yeah, it's good to meet you. And I enjoyed your Lily Tomlin story.
That was a great story. Did you get a standing O for that? Here you go. Oh, I think we have similar between the three of us. We have similar similar desks happening.
We both have lots of clutter. I think that's what we have in common.
Yeah.
I call it emotional collecting.
Yeah, I've got my
Bye-bye.
my Pepe Le Pew statue, so I got something to show too.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's for display and share, but that's Friday nights. I like that though. Wait, let me get you on speaker. Let's do it. Show it again so we can do the speaker. Say something, Pat.
Pepe Le Pew, the ladies' man. I identify with Pepe Le Pew because I'm also a ladies' man. So
There you
I
go.
also stink.
Okay, ladies, man. I would love to get Lily Tomlin on the show. You never know.
Ah,
You never know. I'm still waiting for. Do you know Cher by any chance?
me, no.
I've got
I ask everybody because
Yeah.
there she is.
it's a box of matches.
Ooh, it's a big box. That's the kind of match I need for this candle now, since the wax has gone down. All right, kids, I'm gonna jump off before midnight.
Later.
It's
Good
only like 9:30 for me or something.
Work
8:56.
hard, everybody.
See you later.
Thanks, you guys. Really hard.